Hey, you should pause this and read it before you continue with the video. First off, before I actually get started, a couple disclaimers here. It takes me a while to get to the point, so I understand if that's not your game. Maybe someday someone will stitch this with Subway Surfers or fucking Minecraft. I don't care if that happens or not. It's just the way my brain works. Second, this is not an endorsement for either the Democrat Party nor the Republican Party. I do not like either. Now, let's actually get started. Now, I think anyone who's been paying attention to the Republican Party can agree with me in the fact that they have gone full-blown fascist, at the very least crypto-fascist. And for those who don't understand that terminology, I'm referring to people who are pretending not to be. And with that, I think the best form of examining them doesn't come from just examining them as the Republicans, but using fascist playbooks to examine them, or generally trends that the fascists tend to use. Now, when examining how a fascist leader emerges, they tend to have both of two qualities. Charisma with false populism and well understanding of the current levers of power. This being said, neither of the two main candidates for the Republican Party, that being Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, have both qualities. This is because Ron DeSantis has no charisma. In fact, all of his charisma comes from mocking Donald Trump and copying his playbook. And Donald Trump really only has that one half of the coin. The only reason he was able to get as much done is because the House and the Senate allowed him. On top of this, when you examine how things are going right now, and this is just based on how it is right now, there is a dangerous chance that Trump might have learned how the levers of power work. And on top of that, the only real chance that DeSantis has of getting to the presidency is if something happens to Trump. On top of this, if you just remove DeSantis from the governorship of Florida, there's a real chance that I have a feeling he might have a March on Rome moment. He already has his own private militia. And this time it being a march on, Tallahassee, Miami? I don't know. I'm a product of the American education system. So it's not like I really know state capitals. But with it, they're both bad. So just removing the one player from this chessboard is not the way to get rid of the situation at hand. The way you get rid of it is through active organizing. It is through anti-fascist organizing. Because you can't just vote for the Democrats to let them keep the Republicans at bay. I think I've already made that clear. The only thing they do is slow down the Republicans. They won't stop them. They'll slow them. And even then, the Republicans still get shit through when a Democrat is in power. The only way to get rid of the fascism in this country is through active organization and anti-fascist movements. This comes in many forms. However, Antifa must mobilize for there to be no Republican Party. And as is, there is no actual vanguard party for the people. Because anti-fascist organizing really just happens on local levels. And if it was to actually organize on a national scale, you then have something that threatens the seat of power, both Democrat, Republican, both factions of the current capitalist party. On top of this, when you see how they interact with each other, remember, Pelosi says we still need a strong Republican Party, despite the fact that they're already very, very fascist. And it's clear they don't. Neither party represents the actual masses. So, you got to educate, you got to agitate, and you got to organize. Some parties already exist that could change for the better, such as the DSA and the CPUSA. However, some branches, some chapters may have some infiltration because, again, the powers that be love maintaining their power. You gotta find a way to stop that power. It's as Malcolm X once said, good evening, friends and enemies, because you can't have a crowd this large without any enemies. Which is why they've managed to keep the power as long as they have. The only way to fight this system is with socialism. That's why educate, agitate, and organize. I feel like a fucking broken record, but that's the only way to do it. Because otherwise, things are going to get a lot worse. And, they say first they came for the socialists. The poem goes, first they came for the communists. But no one spoke up I did not speak up, for I was not a communist. Because that's the first group that can mobilize to get the powers that be to actually represent the people.